Good morning, everyone. Welcome to CSL Cape Coral. Glad to have you all here this morning. Nice group here, meditation. So I know that we've got a wonderful speaker today, and it's going to be fun and exciting, but I'm going to start us off a little bit more calm and save that energy for later. So if you would like to just take this moment to just find a comfortable position in your seat, and then just close your eyes. Take a nice deep cleansing breath in and let it out slowly. And do that a couple more times. All right. So just imagine yourself right now in a peaceful place, wherever that may be, whatever's peaceful to you. Just knowing it's a safe place, it's a place that there is nothing else but you and the beauty that you create around yourself, whether it be a running stream or in the mountains, at the beach, wherever that place may be. Just know that that is your safe space. And today I'll be doing a meditation out of the Science of Mind book, and today on page 558 it is Peace is the Power at the Heart of God. And as I speak in me, my, or I, consider it yourself. And my peace is found at the heart of God. The heart of God for me is found at the very center of my being. It does not matter how closely the confusion of the outer world presses against me. I am not even disturbed by the confusion in my immediate environment. I know that the only way to counteract confusion is to bring peace into play. Peace I leave with you. My peace I give unto you. Not as the world giveth, give I unto you. These words of assurance stay with me, and I hear them re-echoing in the depths of my being. I surrender all of my fears, those nameless fears which have been beset me for such a long time, dulling my pleasure and clouding with misery and apprehension all of my days. I am now through with fear. What indeed is there for a divine and immortal being to fear? Certainly not people, for as I am a divine and immortal being, and so is every man, every person, every being, and every being is my relation. I recognize the one life principle with a capital L, working in and through and inspiring the motives of everyone I contact. I do not fear sickness, disease, or death, because the eternal and perfect life with a capital L animates my body and goes always about its perfect work, healing and renewing that body. I am not afraid of want or lack, for the one infinite essence supplies me with everything I need all the time. There's nothing for me to fear, for I am an inseparable part of God. I live in God, and God lives in me, and I draw upon its perfect peace. Peace is within me, and that peace, with a capital P, poised in perfect life, complete in perfect happiness. That spirit within me is whole. That spirit within me is God, and that wholeness is perfect now. God is an immediate presence and an immediate experience in my mind and soul. And I am conscious of this perfect presence, this divine wisdom, this eternal wholeness. And now I recognize that the principle of life is in me and around me and operates through me, that it has no want, has no fear, has no doubt, and has no limitation. There is that within me which guides me into opulence, into success, into harmony and love and beauty and friendship. And it does this in peace, in joy, and in certainty. I let that divine within me, using whatever method it may, restore me to perfect health, perfect happiness, and harmony, and bring into my experience everything that is good, everything that is perfect, and that is true and successful. I am not the only one with this spirit, but this spirit is all that I am. It is my whole being, and this divine wisdom is in my thought, causing me to act and move intelligently and to make right choices and to follow right pursuits. There are no problems in this divine wisdom. Therefore, the road is made straight before me. Every obstacle is removed, and I am led, irresistibly led, to the absolute, certain goal of good, of accomplishment, and of success. And now we'll take a few moments of silent meditation. My peace is found in the heart of God. Take nice, natural breath in and out. Focus on that breath. Bring your awareness back into the room and feel the chair beneath you, supporting you. And you can wiggle your fingers and toes. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Thank you for being here this morning. This concludes the meditation, and we will take a 15-minute break at 10:30. We will open back up here for the Sunday celebration. So be welcome to go out and have some coffee, roam around the lobby a little bit, or stay in here and just keep your nice, quiet, peaceful self. And We'll see you in 15 minutes. Thank you.
Check, check. Checkity check. Checkity check, 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 check. Yeah, good. All right.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Sunday. Oh, everybody looks like so cheerful and with it already. Well, how about we give some love to the Give Love. They are the Give Love Band, but they're also known as the Good Love Band. So let's give them a warm welcome to welcome us to Sunday celebration.
Good morning, good morning. As usual, we want you to stand up with us, enjoy, sing out. Let us hear you this morning.
Yeah, that's loud.
We don't have our wonderful Cassie this morning, so we're going to be dependent on your voices. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet, see the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Come on, Scott. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Woo! So we're awake and ready now, right? So welcome to Centers for Spiritual Living Cape Coral. Ernest Holmes is the founder of our philosophy here, and we teach the universal truth found in all spiritual teachings, both traditional and contemporary. So that means from the Bible to Louise Hay, Deepak Chopra. We just love to study truth here. So please visit our website at cslcapecoral.org for information on upcoming events. We do a lot of stuff around here. To submit prayer requests or to send us your comments and questions, and mostly just so we can know who you are and reach out to you. So we want to thank our amazing practitioner, Karen Gidley, who is holding high watch during our service today. She's sitting right over here in the corner, and no, she's not napping. She is holding a high consciousness for all of us in this room and beyond. She is holding the highlight of perfection and beauty and joy and the health, wealth, and vitality of us all. Isn't that great? So thanks to Karen. And now we are going to let the Big Love Band continue to get us rocking and rolling this morning. Give them some love.
World of worry, world of pain, world of life rearranged, joined together in song. We are one, we are one. We have doubts, we have fears. We share the hurt, we share the tears. We are here, we're not alone. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
Miles may divide us, but love will unite us. We will rise and overcome. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
One world, one fight, one heart, one life, underneath one sun. One breath, one sky, one song, one cry. Raise your voice and sing along. We are one.
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 We are one. I am me. You are you. Together we will make it through. We will play. We'll have some fun. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We have doubts. We have fears. We will share the tears. We are here. We're not alone. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one. Miles may divide us, but love will unite us. We will rise and overcome. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
One world, one fight, one heart, one life, underneath one sun. One breath, one sky, one song, one cry. Raise your voice and sing along. We are one.
We are one.
We are one.
We are one. We are one.
Ooh, we are one.
We are one.
We are one. Ooh, we are one. We are one.
Woo! And thank you for staying standing as we prepare ourselves to do our blessing. So let's just warm up those hands and put all our love energy in there and repeat the words on the screen with me. Welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living. We know who you truly are. You are the spirit and likeness of God. We appreciate you, we love you, and we are thankful you are here. Welcome to the center. One more time?
One more time.
All right.
Two, three, four.
One power, one power, one power. There's one power invisible, and you see it every day and everywhere. one power indescribable, and you speak of it with every word you say. Mysterious until you know the truth. As simple as to love inside of you. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Mahalula, angels' wings or heaven's door. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, one power, one power. We speak so many languages, different clothing, different colors, different names. The difference is only dangerous when we forget in our hearts we're all the same. Remember once we closed our eyes to see that such distances was never meant to be. Call it God, call it Spirit, call it Jesus, call it Lord, call it Buddha, Maharula, Hashem, or Heaven's Door. It's Muhammad, it's your mind, it's your soul, it's your sign, it's the universe, it's music, Mother Earth of all time. But whatever name you give it, it's all one power, can't you see? It's the power of the love in you and me. One power, yes. One power. Oh, it's what we are.
One power,
One power. One power. One power. It's the moment of creation. It's the everlasting peace. It's the sweetness of forgiveness. It's the very breath you breathe. It's the joy of inspiration. It's the sunlight on your face. It's the birthright of all nations. It's boundless of state. It's one power. Oh, one power.
Clicker not working? Oh, there we go. I think the next slide is that it's time to release the little ones. I'm pretty sure that's what's coming up here next. It is trying, isn't it? So anyways, you young peeps, have fun back there. We're so grateful that we do have a youth program now, so spread the word. And next, it is my honor and privilege to welcome our licensed practitioner, Adalia Romero, who's going to give us today's reading. So please give Adalia a warm welcome.
Let's see, you all remember what I taught you, right? This is my place, and these are my people, right? That's right. That's right. There's only one, right? Only one power. So this week we are just going to finalize our journey through with the reading. of this month, Speaking Truth to Circumstances. And the title in general that they give us, but we're going to have a very high-level title today coming up. So, but they're talking about standing in stones, and I think this is all blends in with our message today. So I'm looking forward to that. Sometimes we face what seems to be walls of circumstances made of stone. They speak to us. Let's listen, then speak back to them. Words of wisdom, right? Today I take time to listen to Spirit's highest ideas of life, right? Because Spirit is the only power. Circumstances may seem very real, like stone walls in our path, but Ernest Holmes reminds us to think independently of any existing circumstances. This is what is meant by entering the absolute. That's in Science of Mind 417, paragraph 2. By entering this realm of thinking, we connect with the infinite power from which all circumstances spring, but what is greater than any circumstances? So I love that reminder because I know there's always something, right? Some experience or something that is always there for us to know that this too shall pass. This too shall pass, and we can move on from it at any given point. So I want to share a couple of quotes from this week's theme, and one of them is, we must be willing to get rid of the life we planned so as to have the life that is waiting for us. Right? Oh boy, these words of wisdom, sometimes they hit your heart. And then out beyond ideas of wrongdoing and right doing, there is a field. I'll meet you there. When the soul lies down in the grass, the world is too full to talk about. Ideas, language, even phrase each other doesn't make any sense. That's from Rumi. And the final one is, a man must be deeply convinced that the contradictions of life which he encounters are not final, that the radical tension between good and evil as he sees it and feels it, it does not have the last word about the meaning of life and the nature of existence, that there is a spirit in man and in the world working always against the thing that destroys and cuts down. Thus he will live wisely and courageously, his life, his or her life, and those who see the sunlight in their face will drop their tools and follow Spirit. So in conclusion, it is time to rest upon the battles and wars of good and bad, right or wrong. It is time to stop beating our heads against the stones. There will always be stones, but we can live in the greater freedom, leaving them standing where they are, while we cavort and live in the freedom, the only agenda of the universe. Sometimes we have to put down our swords and shields and actually listen to the stones. What are they saying to us? What is their gift to us? Can we approach them with curiosity and wonder instead of anger and righteousness? Can we listen to someone who has a very different point of view from ours? Can we set aside that which we're very certain we're right about and ask, is there a different way to view this? Is there a way that includes both views? Spirit is a paradox, so it is natural that we would be called to live in as a paradox too. Spend time going within to the sweet spring of the water of life, fed by the infinite beingness. Be gentle with yourself and the world. Who knows, maybe one day one of the stones will be beautiful and valued, a valued part of your garden. Oh man. Yeah. Drop the mic, right? For sure. So this moment is now where we hold everyone in the light. And if there's anything at all, just anything, whether it's continuous peace and joy in your life, or whether it's just someone or something that you want to hold in this light, I'm going to ask you to just take a moment and hold it lightly. As we pray, knowing there is only one power and one presence, that absolute essence, that which we call God. We could call it by any name, but we know it is spirit abounding itself, rejoicing itself, bouncing off the universe and dancing and surrounding us at this very moment. For we know that every single thing is within the power of creation, of a new story, of embracing that which we know is alive within us. As we step forward on a new beginning of a new life today, we know that it is all good because it is all God as we embrace this idea of connection, of knowing that we're never, ever alone, that we walk this journey together. So we say yes to it all, as we embrace the idea of knowing that we can fly, we can ride, we can just go anywhere, for we know that in this carpet of love, we arrive of a new beginning. So we just say yes as I release these words to that law that always, always know, and we surrender it all, as we listen and rejoice in the new beginning of our lives. So we say yes, and together we just say, and so it is. So now I have the honor and the pleasure of introducing a dynamic, spiritual essence that I've gotten to meet here at the center. She is a grace of light, and I get the honor to introduce her today because she's amazing and awesome. So here it goes. Her name is Dawn Bauer, and I know you guys know her. She's a religious science practitioner licensed through Mile High Church in Lakewood, Colorado. She is currently serving both Mile High Church and Centers for Spiritual Living Cape Coral as an outreach practitioner. In addition, Dawn is an actress, a certified NLP, I'm not going to pronounce this very well, but neuro-linguistic programming coach, and a former educator. She said, yes, I did it well. She is a speaker and workshop leader for schools and organizations across the country. So let's give her a big round of joy.
Thank you. That was beautiful. We got the memo. Anybody else wearing turquoise in here? So I've got a topic for you today. Before we get started, I would love to do a little activity. Are you guys willing? If you're able, please stand up. If you're not, you can do this in your mind. You can close your eyes because the brain doesn't know the difference between real and imaginary. So that's cool. So jump for me. Do it again. How's that feel? Just notice what's going on in your body. How'd that feel? A lot of smiles I'm seeing out in the audience. Feels a little different than just sitting, right? Or just walking, right? There's times in our lives where we need to jump. We need to jump. Our body is telling us, ooh, there's something happening here. There's something, I gotta get ready. I'm excited. Maybe a little anxious. There's a reason why we call it jump for joy and not sit for joy or walk for joy. And you've probably heard jump and the net will appear. Because when we jump, we're taking both of our feet off the ground. And for a moment, we're not sure where we're going to land, how we're going to land, what that's going to be like. But when we trust that the net, also known as God, is going to be there to catch us, then we can feel safer to jump. Okay, thanks for doing that with me. You guys can go ahead and have a seat. So, when we're jumping, you guys just demonstrated jumping in place. That was pretty safe. Anyone here ever jump out of a moving vehicle? You have? Awesome. What kind of vehicle? A Honda CRV. All right. We'll have to talk about that later. That sounds like a fun time. It's a little bit different jumping out of a moving vehicle because you really don't know how you're going to land. And so I'd love to share with you some stories of me jumping out of moving vehicles. Am I still on? Here we go. A plane, a car, and a train. And so before I go into that, I just want you to think about, there's other moving vehicles in our lives, and I want you to think about a moving vehicle that you're currently on or in, where you're sitting or walking when you've been called to be jumping. A moving vehicle you're currently in that you've been called to jump and you're not jumping. Okay? Now, before I go into these stories, I do need to go over 3 things. Number one of these stories comes with a trigger warning. Okay? If something comes up for you, we have wonderful practitioners here to support you in that. Number 2, I am not sharing these stories with you to encourage you to jump out of any moving vehicles. There's some TikTok videos going on right now, but like jumping off the back of a boat and people are dying is dangerous. So I just want that to be clear. And I also want you to know that these are just 3 examples of moving vehicles I jumped out of. There's been plenty of vehicles I did not jump out of. They're very safe vehicles. You can stay in them. You do not need to jump out of these vehicles. And number 3, I'm going to ask you to take off your judging hat for the rest of this talk. You willing to do that? I'm going to be sharing some personal information that I haven't really shared with too many people and rely on you right now. So, there's some choices I've made in my life that, looking back, I'm not proud of. Anybody else raise your hand if you've ever made a decision or a choice in your life that you're not proud of? Oh, thank God, I'm not the only one in here. Okay, whew, we're on the same page. Oh, while your hands are still up, repeat after me. I promise not to judge Dawn. Okay, thank you. All right. Today, just today. Tomorrow, judge away. You can think back to these stories and like, what was she thinking? All right, story number 1, jumping out of a moving plane. So I was 22 years old and with a couple of girlfriends and we had already been through our 21st birthday together. It was summer and we just graduated college. And we wanted to do something really extraordinary because, 21 was so cool. And so we thought, let's go skydiving. And we were so excited about it. This was just going to be a big jump, right? That was exciting and we might die, but we'll probably not die, And so we get there. And we decided, we didn't want to spend extra money or time to learn how to jump solo. So we did a tandem jump, which means that you're somebody strapped behind you. Anybody been skydiving before? A couple of you. So there was a man with a very large belly that I was attached to. And I'm not judging belly. It's just like not really the best situation when you're tandem jumping. So that was fun, right? We learned all the different things that you need to do to be safe. It was a really tiny plane, so we couldn't all go up together. This guy jumped with each of us, and so I was the first one to go. And we had to, get all strapped in. You got the straps here and here, and you're connected to him, and we had to back into the plane. Because when we come back out the door, we have to move forward. You don't want to go to the plane backwards, by the way, if you've never been skydiving. So we're in the plane. We're going up slowly because they didn't want my sinuses to explode. I guess that's a thing. So we're going up slowly. Finally, we get out, and we have to get all 4 of our feet, and then also the videographer. It's just pilot, the videographer, and me and this guy. On this little, I feel like it was like this big, this little square thing. And it's not so much a jump. You kind of lean forward into the atmosphere and then just let go. And you're supposed to put your hands like this and your feet like this, right? So you're kind of making a curve, which was super easy to do because, the belly. So we're going, and the free fall was supposed to be about 30 seconds. And that's a fun time because you're just flying through the air. And my goggles, nobody told me this, my goggles needed to be tucked up under the cap. And they weren't, and so they were doing this the whole time in the air. And I'm trying to adjust my goggles, and I'm not sure, I'm supposed to keep my arms out here. The video of it is hilarious. And so that wasn't fun because I didn't even know what we were looking at. And he's like, pull the parachute strap. He was gonna let me do it. I'm like, I can't even see what's happening. So he pulled the chute. The chute comes out, and now we're in the parachute. And that's supposed to be the really cool part, but it wasn't. Because this man, who's much bigger than I am, the straps were cutting off my circulation. It was so painful, I thought my legs were gonna fall off. And I didn't know how to adjust the straps. I didn't even know if it was safe to adjust the straps. I'm like, if I adjust the straps and I'm like, woo, I just like fall out of him. So it's like, hey, let's, you can do this and you can change the direction and let's have some fun. And I'm like, let's get down on the ground. This is not fun anymore. This is painful. So I didn't enjoy any of it. I didn't enjoy any of it because I wasn't prepared. I didn't ask the right questions. I didn't even know what questions to ask. But we landed safely, thank God. And then my two friends, I was like, hey, make sure you put your goggles under your thing and your straps. So they had a great time. But I told myself, I'm never, ever going skydiving again, because that was a horrible experience. I did it once. I didn't even know it was on my bucket list. If it was, it's checked off. And I never want to go again. Until 20 years later. I still didn't really want to go, but I had some friends that were going on a skydiving adventure, and they were going to have this jump present something that they needed to jump into in their lives. And I thought, that sounds cool, but I'm like, I've been there, done that, I'll come watch you. There was a lot of twisting of the arm and stuff, and finally I said, maybe this is the time for me to just get over this fear. Maybe it could be a different experience than the first time. And it was. So I told my tandem person who didn't have a belly, that was great. I told him, look, this is what happened the first time, and I don't want this to happen again. And I came in there with questions and like, how do we do this? He's like, that's easy. Once we get up there in the parachute, you can actually kind of adjust the straps and sit in the straps, and we can loosen them up a little bit. I'm like, great. So we jump. The free fall was amazing. The parachute comes out. And for those of you that have been parachuting and had a positive experience, that moment is so amazing. I understand now why people jump over and over and over and over and over again. There is a peace up there. There's a beauty up there. It's so quiet. And you're looking down over everything, and you feel the oneness in that moment. And had I let that fear from the first experience, same activity, determine that the next experience was going to be the same, I would have never experienced that joy in that moment. And I'm talking slowly right now so that you can think of a time in your life, perhaps a relationship that didn't go so well, and you're afraid that it's going to happen again. Maybe it's not, because you have the resources now that you didn't have before. Moving vehicle number 2, a car. I'm doing these in the order that they happened in my life. It was only about a year after the plane. This has a trigger warning. I was in Denver I was doing AmeriCorps. It's a community service like the Peace Corps, but in America. And we were staying in this old Air Force base, abandoned buildings, a lot of different things. I went with some friends to a party on a bus down Colfax, if you know Denver, to an off-campus party. And the plan was going to go to the party and then come back on the bus. But at the end of the night, my friends didn't want to leave. They were just going to stay the night there. And I didn't want to stay the night there. I wanted to go back home and be in my bed. And I couldn't get anybody to come with me. And I made the decision to go home alone. And so I'm standing at the bus stop It's cold, it's November. I'm angry because nobody's coming with me. And as I'm standing there and turning around, and I see there's a 7-Eleven here, and I see a Ford Bronco with Nebraska plates. For those of you who don't know, I'm from Nebraska. So I was like, I had this brilliant idea. Somebody from Nebraska. Nebraskans are friendly and helpful. I'm going to ask this person for a ride home. You promised you wouldn't judge me. So I go up to the window and I'm like, hey, sir, I need a ride home. I don't know when the bus is going to come here, blah, 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 blah. He first said no. And this man, he's an older man. He's got some missing teeth. He's maybe not all together. But I was desperate at this point and not really thinking. And so I begged him. And he said, okay, yeah. As soon as we got in the car and started driving, I realized I was in a very unsafe situation. I started asking him questions about what town in Nebraska did he come from, and he couldn't name any. So I'm wondering, who is this person? All I know is his name is Vincent. I thought maybe the car is stolen, I don't know. I noticed that the brakes weren't working. At every red light, he pulled the emergency brake to stop the car. So that wasn't safe. And I'm just praying at this point and very much awake and very much alert and very much realizing what I got myself into. And now starting to say, okay, God, angels, whoever's with me right now, help me figure out how to get out of this. So I'm now already in fight or flight mode, figuring out my escape. And what's the best plan? We pull off at the Air Force Base, but not quite to the dorms yet, and he stops the car. And I'm realizing in that moment, I don't know why we're stopping, but my heart is now racing. He reaches over in the glove box. I'm like, oh my God, is he pulling out a gun or a knife, or I don't know. He pulls out a pipe of some sort to smoke, offers me some, and I'm like, I've already had enough already tonight, because I'm using my wits. I'm staying calm. I understand I need to stay calm in this moment because I don't know what's happening with this man. Now he's on drugs. He gets out of the car, relieves himself, comes back into the car, and I am realizing how dark it is in all these abandoned buildings. There's not a lot of light on the old campus. And I just say, oh my gosh, we're so close. Thanks for bringing me. Just come around the corner. And thank God, because I know I can't run from where I'm at to the dorms. It's too far. So we get to the street right outside, and I don't want him to pull in the parking lot. And I'm like, it's right here. And as I'm starting to open the door, he has other plans. And he starts to pull me in towards him. His hands are in not appropriate places, tries to kiss me. I'm trying to push him away. When I'm trying to push him away and he's trying to shut the door, I'm trying to put my foot in the door, and he slams on the gas. And I'm not really sure how this all happened. I had to get his arm off of me, and my seatbelt still was on, so I'm trying to get it undone. And I didn't think. I just knew that this vehicle wasn't safe, and whatever was going to happen when I jumped out of it was probably safer. And I've seen it happen in the movies, and they just tuck and roll, and it's going to be fine. I didn't tuck and roll. I jumped out of that thing and miraculously landed on my feet. I was actually wearing wedges. Landed on my feet. And I took off running to the dorms. I looked back one time to see that he stopped the vehicle. I could tell he was considering about coming after me, and then took off. had I hesitated, I don't know if I'd be here standing today. I don't know what was going to happen. I share this story because perhaps there are vehicles that you've been in before or you're currently in right now that you need to take a massive leap and jump out of because they are not safe. And trying to walk out or trying to sit and think it's going to change is possibly not a good idea. Vehicle number 3, train. Jumped out of a train. So, 2 of my friends, different friends from the plane, they happen to be sisters, Lucy and Jane. We decided we were going to go to this place in Thailand called the Sanctuary to do a 7-day cleanse. And so we fly into Bangkok. We have all day in Bangkok, which happens to be the Thai New Year. We didn't plan that. It was the Thai New Year. And then we get on this train that's going to be an 8-hour train ride all the way down south. And the train leaves about 7 p.m., so we're arriving in Surat Thani at about 3 a.m. Then we take a taxi to the coast and take a boat to this island. So that's the plan. So, like I said, we were there in Bangkok. It's the New Year, and if you've never, does anybody been in Thailand for the New Year? So it's like citywide water gun fight. They're selling water guns all over the place, so we get these big super soakers that we're just going to give to some kid later, and literally just it's packed with people, and we're squirting each other, and people are coming up with this clay and smacking it on our faces, and it's really, all of this it's a cleansing of the old so that we can bring in the new, releasing of the old so we can bring in the new. So by the time we get on the train, we're jet lagged, we're soaking wet, we have clay all over us, and we're sitting in the back. We got the cheap seats in the back. We wanted to be with the people, you know. We wanted to be with the real people in the back. Nobody speaks English back there, so we're all, three white girls with our big backpacking backpacks, and we're sitting next to the restroom. Somebody knows. Which is just a hole. You just hold on and it's just a hole. So it was stinky. And somehow we just were exhausted. We still fell asleep. We fell asleep. I wake up to the sound of our stop being called, apparently for the last time, because the train is starting to move away from the station. And I'm thinking, in a split second, I'm like, we gotta go, we can't, if we go to the next, like in a split second, do you ever have this experience where like all these thoughts come in, you're like, we can't go to the next stop, we don't know how long it's gonna take us back over here, we gotta get on the boat, we gotta get to the island. So I'm like, girls, I smack them awake, and I'm like, we gotta go, this is our stop, grab your bags. So I grab my bag, and I've seen people all day at every single stop, or all evening, they would walk on with their goods while the train is moving. The train's still moving. They would jump on and try to sell you little candies and foods and things. And then as the train starts leaving again, the train is moving, and then they just walk right off. Made it look so easy because I do this every day. So I have my backpack, and I go to jump off the train, whoop, smack into the platform. It's still on the platform. Smack into the platform. And I'm laying there trying to figure out what just happened, looking back, because I think the girls are right behind me. All of a sudden, I see Lucy's head poke out, and she's looking at me on the ground, and she's trying to decide, what am I going to do? How did you do that? I'm like, I just jumped, and she's probably like, that doesn't look like a good idea. And the platform's starting to come to an end, so she jumps. She hit a little bit harder because the train is moving faster. And we're both now laying on the ground watching for Jane. We found out later Jane was trying to pick up coins, and I don't know, making sure we didn't leave anything in there. It's like, oh my God. So, Jane is not coming. All of a sudden, she's poking her head out. It's 3 o'clock in the morning. It's dark. There's like one lamp post, so we're getting a little bit, we just see her silhouette, and we're like, oh my God. We're not really sure if it's better to be separated from Jane and try to figure out how to get her back connected later, because now it's rocks. The platform is done, the train is moving faster, and it's rocks. And she's wearing a long dress, and all of a sudden we see this silhouette of her jumping off the train onto the rocks, and she tumbles, and she doesn't move. It's her sister, so it's a little bit more terrifying for her, but terrifying for both of us because we're just starting our trip. And we're waiting, and we're calling her name, and I think she was just assessing herself, and she eventually did get up and slowly came over, and she had some cuts and bruises, a lot more than we did on those rocks. She survived, and we have all of these Thai people around us yelling at us. I don't know what they're saying, but it's very clear they're telling us we're stupid. And we could have chop, 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 chop. They just kept saying chop, 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 and I was like, will you stop with the chop, chop, chop? Because like people jump off of these trains and they get their heads cut off, and I was like, yeah, that didn't happen, and I don't want to think about that happening. So after we cleaned, each other up and made sure that we were okay, we had a good laugh about it. It's a good laugh now, not something I recommend. And the lesson I got from that, and what I want you to take away is, when we're jumping, are there other people that need to be jumping with us? Sometimes it's not just about us jumping, but do we need to make sure that we've got our people with us to jump? So perhaps there's a vehicle that you can think of that's like, hey, we need to jump together. Had I jumped and they didn't jump, I would have been alone. So just considering that. And I want to come back to that question that I asked you before. Is there a vehicle, a moving vehicle that you're currently on that you need to be jumping instead of sitting or walking? I've jumped out of other moving vehicles. I've jumped out of relationships. I've jumped out of careers. That's a plural on purpose. I've jumped out of careers. I've jumped out of living situations. And it's scary at first. But then once you get to the other side, right, then you know, okay, that was a good choice. And the more you jump, the easier it is to jump the next time. So look at this fun girl jumping. So if you know me, what do you think the J is? Joy. Joy. So these are things that I want you to think about when you're thinking like, should I be jumping right here? Now, sometimes in the moment you gotta jump. It's not safe. And I'm not talking about pleasure. We've talked about this before. I'm not talking about pleasure, that in the moment, fleeting, oh, that was nice. I'm talking about joy, one of the traits of spirit. Do I have more joy here in this vehicle, or do I need to jump out because this is going to give me more joy if I jump out? So considering that. Uncomfort. Y'all, jumping, I don't think I've ever had a comfortable jump. It's not comfortable. If you're comfortable, this is comfortable. Walking, stepping. I'm 1 foot here where I'm at and 1 foot going forward. It's like this easy. And there's plenty of moments when that's appropriate. I'm not saying we need to walk around and jump all over the place. But there's certain circumstances where this is not going to get you where you need to go. You need to take both feet off the ground. You need to jump past those steps and make a big leap. and it's not going to be comfortable. So if you're comfortable, it's not jumping, is my point. It's going to be uncomfortable. But trust that the net is going to appear. Trust that God is always with you. Motivation. So what I mean by this is one of our meta programs, we all have different programming, is are we moving towards something or away from something? Neither one of them is wrong. A lot of times people think I have to be moving towards something because that's a positive direction. No, it's totally fine if you're moving away from something. You may be moving from both. So this is just an awareness. This is not like, am I going to? Just checking in. What am I moving towards? Is that what's pulling me to jump here because I want a better blank? Or I don't even know what I want. All I know is I do not want this. Because sometimes that's just the motivation. I cannot have this anymore. This is not good. This is not okay. So I'm going to jump and I don't know where I'm going to land. And it may be a little bit of both. And then P, purpose. What is your purpose here? But maybe just asking that question is first, and is this in alignment with your purpose? Is the current vehicle you're on taking you in the direction of fulfilling your purpose? Or is it taking you in the opposite direction, or just like a sideways direction? What's going to get you in that alignment, going in the direction of your purpose? Get in that vehicle. So before we go into prayer here, I want you to just imagine you're at the end of your life, because we're all going to be there at some point. It may be that you got the privilege of living a long life and you're just taking your last breaths in bed with loved ones. It may be, God forbid, that you're in a car accident and you're taking your last breaths there. But in that moment, whatever that moment is, I want you to think, is there anything that you know that you're going to say, I wish I would have jumped? I wish I would have jumped. Whatever that is, go do that. Go do that. You're still here. You still can. Let's take this into prayer. Just knowing that right here and right now we are fully enveloped in that Holy Spirit. That it is always with us, ever present. Holding those resources that we can tap into at each and every moment. Knowing that I am one with that source and that it lives and breathes through me. Knowing the same is true for each and every individual in this room and online. That we have jobs to do. We are hearing the calling to jump. And we say yes, knowing that God's got us. We say yes. That which is in alignment with our joy, with our calling, with our peace. Releasing and letting go anything that does not belong. And as we jump out of these vehicles that we may be in that are no longer serving us and jump into new vehicles, knowing all is well, all is perfect, and there is more joy, more love, more peace. And I'm so grateful to know this truth. So full of gratitude for each and every person in here. And I release these words into the law knowing they are done, and so it is. Thank you. Thank you. Does he need that?
Oh, I need a slide advanced. All right. Wasn't that amazing? Thank you so much, John. Don, it makes me remember all the times I've jumped and times I still probably need to jump. So thank you so very much. Now is the time for our giving back to our community. We have, come on up, we'll welcome up the ushers. So without the generous gifts of our time, talents, and treasures, our doors would not be able to stay open. Our spiritual home operates solely on the financial and physical support of wonderful folks like you. And we have made it easy for giving. So if you look up on the screen, you can text a tithe, 239-320-3820. I have done this before. It is very easy. You just have to set it up the first time, and then after that, you just hit text a tithe and send in your donation. You can also send through PayPal at cslcapecoral.org, or you can go to our website and just push the little donate button and donate there. Or we have these beautiful baskets going around today. So we have a little, I don't know how to push this forward. There we go. Oh, you can also snail mail the old-fashioned way to Centers for Spiritual Living, Cape Coral at 406 Southeast 24th Ave, right here, Cape Coral, Florida 33990. Like I said, the ushers are going to be coming around, and I invite you to say our tithing affirmation with me. Today, I know the activity of divine abundance is at work in my life and the life of this center. I give and receive generously as I live in the flow of bountiful good. And the Big Love Band has a nice song for us.
Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good. Standing as one in the presence of the power, standing where others have stood. Gladly we offer the gifts of our abundance, knowing the source of our good.
I guess I can move this. Yes. So we say a word of blessing over these tithes and offerings, blessing the giver and blessing the receivers as we continue to contribute to community beyond through our tithing as well. And just knowing that it is pressed down to overflowing, that we cannot outgive God, that that which we give returns to us plenty to overflowing. So for this and so much more, we are indeed grateful, knowing that these gifts go out and bless our community and the world at large. And so it is. Amen. Okay, so I am your living invitation to events happening here at the center. We do lots of things here, and we want to encourage you guys to come out for it because there is so much fun going on here. This Tuesday, first Tuesday of every month, Patty Reiki, who we want to give a great shout out and thank you to for yesterday, for her and Karen. We had a Reiki session here yesterday, 2 different little separate ones that were absolutely amazing. And you can experience Patty's distance Reiki session on Zoom, and that is August 1st, so this coming Tuesday from 6:30 to 8 o'clock. So you can visit the calendar on cslcapecoral.org to register, and it is offered on a love donation basis, so don't let anything stop you from checking that out. And I'm used to Cassie doing these for me. So Wednesdays, we have a midweek tune-up, and that is we come to the center, we're reading something from A Science of Mind, having a beautiful discussion over it, and getting ourselves tuned up. So we can, we come here on Sundays, and these are all ways that you can keep your vibration high and in the teachings throughout the week. We also, all the practitioners come up here at the end of service. We want to pray with you, so make our day. Don't leave here with something heavy on your heart. Or if you need to jump, we can help you do it. We can support you in prayer, so let us do that. We will be up here right after service. And is that all the announcements we have today, really? So yeah, short announcements today. So thank everyone for coming so much, and have a blessed and beautiful day. Like I like to call it, we have another 5G day ahead of us. And you know how I know? Because it has always been, since the beginning, God said, and what he created was good and very good, and nothing has changed. So it's up to us to go out with our beautiful eyes of perception and see it, and if we can't, make the jump into it. So have a great day, everybody.
Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Let us be reminded who we come to be. We are love, we are one big family. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah.
Keep clapping, yeah.
Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Here we stand on holy ground. Let us make a joyful sound. Hey, 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 hey. Everybody, get up on your feet. See the light in everybody you meet. Hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Hey, 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 yeah, yeah. Have a wonderful week.